It's over. That been and gone pretty quickly, didn't it? The 28th version of the World Grand Prix is over, which means it's time to come to Edgar TV, hit your subscribe buttons and find out what that's going to mean in the world rankings. £600,000 will be divvied out across the 32 players who've taken part, depending on what round they reached. Also, the £600,000 from 2 years ago is now wiped off everybody's order of merit, which means the rankings will see a £1.2 million prize swing since the last time we looked at the rankings to looking at them now. So expect to see moves, certainly in regards to those key positions. We had some players defending nothing, we had some players defending big money who did a good job, we had some people sort of defend and be quite par, and others, like Michael Smith, who was in the event a couple of years ago, losing big money off his ranking, dropping him a further 6 positions. But let's start our attention on the lowest player in the event. That is Nico Springer. He came in the world number 65, comes out the world number 61. He did lose in the opening round, which means he doesn't make too much progression, but still progression, moving himself inside the world's top 64 now in his first year. Connor Scott and Alan Suter make a bit of a flip-flop there. Must have been some sort of Pro Tours or things on around this time last year. But the big money is what we're looking at. Vessel Nyman picking up a first round again. Probably not the most ideal for him. He's expecting to go on a bit of a run somewhere. He went out to Rob Cross in the opening game, moves closer towards the world's top 32. You look at the likes of Joe Cullen, who's going to be defending prize money soon, and you look at the players in there. Vessel Nyman still not really defending anything, so has a great opportunity to move himself inside. The second round for Christopher Tysky just keeps him quite stable. Raymond van Barneveld, a lot of people believing that might be the last time we see him in one of these real big sort of events outside the likes of the World Championship, the Players' Championship finals. Outside is where Ricardo Pietrezco goes now. He went in the world number 31. He comes outside the world's top 32. Pietrezco, someone I had a chat with last year when I covered a European tour over in Basel. And he said, I really want to get in the top 32. I'm passionate about the top 32. That's when I know I've made it. And he got there. He achieved that dream. The problem is not reaching this event means he's dropped outside the world's top 32 now. We know that's not as important as it once was. Top 32 meant you were seeded for the World Championship. £15,000. You don't have to play a seed in the opening game, so you're into round 2. That's not the case anymore. The format being extended means it's now the top 40 that get those privileges of sort of, well, not the second round, but, you know, the privileges of avoiding the harder draws, the likes of the little as the Humphries. You can't get them in the first round if you're in the top 40 of the world. So maybe not as important as it once was, but certainly you'll be disappointed to drop outside there. Joe Cullen could drop outside there for the first time in about 15 years. Joe Cullen drops 5 places from world number 27 down to 32, and he's got to defend quite a bit more at the back end of the year. So he's still defending. Then you've got the likes of Vessel Nyman, the likes of Nico Springer, the likes of Kevin Dutz, who are playing good darts but not really having much to defend. Cullen's in trouble for the top 32. Dirk, a player who a couple of years ago became the soft draw, became the easy draw for some people. When he had them shoulder issues, he's recovered well. Good quarterfinals for him. And Cameron Menzies. There'll be a lot of people happy to see that. There'll be a lot of people not happy to see that. Cameron Menzies inside the world's top 32 for the first time in his career, going up 4 places due to the fact of reaching the quarterfinal stage. And there was a lot of people with Cameron Menzies who didn't think he would be able to adjust to the TV stage. Didn't seem like he could sort of settle. Was very irate, wasn't he? Played with so much emotion, though it sort of seemed to be holding him back. Not this week. He's got to the quarterfinals. How's that going to affect him moving forward? Be interesting to see how he does at the back end of the year. He's also defending barely nothing at the back end of the year, which means it's freebies. So he'll stay in the top 32. Chances are he's going to move higher. Chances are he's going to make himself firmer in the top 32 rather than slipping further away. So Cameron Menzies certainly want to keep an eye on, trending in the right direction. Trending in the wrong direction, Michael Smith, down another 6 places. He's getting dangerously close now towards that top 32 positions. When the World Championship comes round, if it doesn't go well with everybody else around this sort of area and the higher prize money, Smith could be out the top 32 as well. Crazy. Darryl Gurney picked up a big win. Great interview this past week when I was on the Pro Tour. He did it with Dan Dawson, talking about how he doesn't believe that he's got it in him now to make it back to the world's top 16, but certainly targeting getting into the top 24. That means he'd be in the Masters. A good victory got him through to the second round. Doesn't need too many more of those, and he could get into those Masters spots, those top 24 positions. Peter Wright is now out of the world's top 16. Will he recover is the big question on everybody's lips right now. Down to world number 18. And Peter Wright is in one of those positions where you look ahead and you go, right, he's going to lose seeding. He's going to lose seeding in this. He's potentially going to lose seeding in things like European tours. That's going to make it harder for him to qualify. He's going to be in qualifiers for European tours, and the way he's playing, he's not going to get in them. So every Euro tour is going to be dropping money. European Championship money's up for grabs soon, isn't it, as well, for Peter Wright? That's another big chunk coming off. So we've already talked about Joe Cullen potentially going out, Michael Smith potentially going out. I think Peter Wright's going to be joining them, if not going first, because he's got to defend the prize money from the European Championships, which looks very unlikely. So, interesting one there. We'll certainly keep an eye on that. Schindler into the top 16. Didn't really perform at the World Grand Prix. Plenty more opportunities to go for him. Gerwyn Price's good form continues to be the case. He's dropped 4 places, though, down to world number 11. Good run to the quarterfinals. Probably should have won against Luke Littler, all in told, but we knew Gerwyn Price had a lot of money to defend this year, and he's doing a fantastic job at doing exactly that. Danny Noppert, possibly one of the most underrated dart players going. Semi-final, previous winner of things like the UK Open. Danny Noppert proving the quality and the class of which he's got. No ranking move for Johnny Clayton. He's the world number 6. He stays firm. But surely now, with that big run for Johnny Clayton to the semi-finals, he's got to be not just someone on the shortlist for the Premier League, but maybe he is going to be in the Premier League. He's been far too consistent all year, always in the latter ends of events. I think a couple of wins at the World Championship, we'll see him in the Premier League. But let's put our focus and attention on the world's top number 4 now. The reason we put the focus here is because these 4 players would be guaranteed the Premier League positions should they finish them at the back end of the year. We know Bunting, Van Gerwen are probably the 2 that are likely to move if there's going to be any movement. Anyone who wins outside of these top 4 positions, the World Championship, £1 million would skyrocket them into position. But Luke Humphries and Luke Littler have been battling for that world number 1 spot. Luke Humphries has kept him at bay. Luke Littler is still not defending anything. So everything Luke Littler wins is closing in. This title closes him in even closer to Luke Humphries, who did a great job in defending half of the prize money, but he's got loads more to defend still to go. The Players' Championship finals still to come up before the World Championship. The Grand Slam of darts, big money to come off for Humphries, where Littler is defending nothing. So the likelihood is Luke Littler's going to be going into the World Championship as the world number 1. He has closed the gap now to around about £70,000 on Luke Humphries. And let's not forget, he's also got the European Championship as well, where Luke Littler is going to be defending nothing. So all in all, Luke Littler, I think, is going to be the world number 1 come the World Championship, possibly sooner, most likely to be sooner. But we just don't know for sure when that's going to be. Let me know down in the comment section when you think Luke Littler is going to be the world number 1, or is Luke Humphries going to do the unthinkable, win title after title to resist the charge of Luke Littler. All he's got to do, though, pick up the World Championship at Christmas, and then he's world number 1 for a while. £1 million. It's very heavily weighted. But for now, Luke Littler has closed the gap. And don't forget, guys, to hit your subscribe button. 100,000 subscribers gets me a plaque that I can put on that wall right there next to my dartboard. So hit your subscribe. I'll see you soon for some more Edgar TV.